welcome to 23 Miles South production of A Christmas Carol. This is basically a radio type broadcast using the old script that was spoken years ago by Lionel Barrymore, Orson Welles, and others. And we are happy to be performing it again for you this evening. Again, obviously we are COVID conscious. We are not performing on stage. So we thought that verbally this was the best way to bring this classic tale to you. Everybody who's in the audience is obviously on mute, which is terrific. Obviously, we don't want to get a whole lot of sound feedback, that type of thing. We will be going straight through. The show runs about an hour and 10 minutes. We will not have a need for intermissions or anything like that. So I want to thank everybody. I will be turning off my camera. We'll have a little bit of theme music, and then we will begin. Again, thank you very much.
Marley was dead to begin with. There's no doubt whatever about that. The register of his burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it, and Scrooge's name was good upon change for anything he chose to put his hand to. Old Marley was dead as a doornail.
Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he did. Scrooge and Marley were partners for I don't know how many years. But he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, was Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner. And once upon a time, of all the good days in the year, on Christmas Eve.
Old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house, a grim, cheerless place if ever there was one. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open, that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a cold and dismal little cell beyond worked at his ledgers.
19, 20, 21, 22. Merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. 23, 26, 29, 9, carry 2. A good Christmas day. 17, 13, 17, 7.
Bob Cratchit?
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Stop that infernal caterwauling.
Yes, sir. 9, 15, 17.
Singing their idiotic Christmas carols at my very door. Go on. Get away from my door. Go somewhere else and bellow your blasted carols, or I'll give you.
Why, Governor, it's an old Christmas time tradition, don't you know?
Yes, and I don't want any of your old traditions. You're full of fools and go away. Christmas. Blah.
Right, sir. Merry Christmas anyway, sir.
No. You get that letter from Higgins and Blackthorn, Cratchit, and then I want you to finish posting this ledger, and after that, you can pop over to Parthagil's and tell Ephraim Parthagil you've come after the 17 shillings and 6 he's owed me since Michaelmas. And tell him I shall have a constable over there if he doesn't pay up at once.
Mr. Parthagil's wife has been ill, sir.
Oh? What do I care about his wife? I want my 17 and 6.
I just thought, it being Christmas, sir.
Christmas? Christmas? You mention that word to me once more, Bob Cratchit, and I'll...
A Merry Christmas.
My nephew Fred.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you, Uncle.
Humbug.
Christmas a humbug, Uncle? Well, I'm sure you don't mean that.
I mean just that. Exactly that. Oh, Merry Christmas. What right do you have to be merry? What reason have you? You're poor enough.
Well, what right do you have to be dismal about Christmas, Uncle? You're rich enough.
Oh, bah.
Now, Uncle, don't be cross.
Well, what else can I be when I would live in such a world of fools? What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? Merry Christmas. A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should.
Uncle.
Now, nephew, keep Christmas in your own way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it, Uncle.
Well, let me leave it alone then. What do you want? A Christmas gift, I've no doubt?
I came to wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Oh, a Merry Christmas. Much good may Christmas do you. Much good as it ever has done you.
Oh, there are many things from which I derive good, by which I have not profited materially, I dare say, Uncle. Christmas among the rest. But I have always thought of Christmas time as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time. And therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good and will do me good. And I say, God bless it.
God bless Christmas, hurrah!
Oh, let me hear another sound out of you there, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. As to you, nephew, I wonder you don't go into Parliament. You talk enough nonsense.
Oh, don't be angry, Uncle. I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, I tried. A Merry Christmas to you, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year, too.
Humbug.
And a Merry Christmas to you, Bob, and the missus, too, and to Tiny Tim.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Fred. Same to you, sir. Good day, sir.
Good day, Bob.
Nonsense. Twaddle. Flummery. Talking of Christmas. And not 2 sixpences to jingle together in his trousers pocket. Hey, you there. Bob Cratchit, come here. What are you doing there?
I'm only putting a bit more coal in the fire, Mr. Scrooge, seeing it's so cold in there, sir.
You put that coal back into the scuttle. A fire. A fire indeed. I can tell you, if you use coal at that rate, you and I will soon be parting company, Bob Cratchit. You understand that? There's many a young fellow who'd like your situation, you know.
I'm sorry, sir. My fingers were getting a little stiff with the cold.
Then put on your mittens. There's someone at the door. Go on, see who it is.
Yes, sir. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Is this the firm of Scrooge and Marley?
Yes, ma'am.
I should like to see the head of the firm, if I may.
Oh, very good, ma'am.
What is it?
A gentlewoman to see you, Mr. Scrooge.
Huh?
Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Marley's been dead these 7 years tonight. I'm Scrooge.
Well now, Mr. Scrooge, at this season of the year, it's only fitting that we who are more fortunate should raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and means of warmth. You may not believe it, sir, but many thousands are now in want of common necessities.
Uh,
And hundreds of thousands are in want of the simplest comforts.
Are there no prisons?
Well, there are plenty of prisons, sir.
And the workhouses? They're still in operation, I trust.
I wish I could say they were not, but they are, sir.
The treadmill and the poor law are in full vigor then?
Both very busy, sir.
Ah, well, I'm glad to hear that. I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course.
No, sir, all these institutions that you mentioned are flourishing, but nevertheless, it's true that some additional provision for the poor and the destitute must be made. A few of us upon change are endeavoring to raise such a fund. You see, and what shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
Oh, I see. You wish to remain anonymous, sir.
I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas time, and I can't afford to help a lot of idle people make merry. I help to support the establishments that take care of the poor. They cost enough. Let those who are badly off go there.
Well, many can't go there, sir. Many would rather die.
Then my advice to them is to do so and decrease the surplus population. Besides, I've only your word that all this is so.
It's the truth, Mr. Scrooge.
Oh, so be it then. It's not my business. It's enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, madam.
I quite understand, Mr. Scrooge. Good afternoon.
Cratchit, show this lady out.
Yes, sir. This way, ma'am, please. I couldn't help but overhearing. I should like to contribute tuppence.
Cratchit!
Yes, ma'am. It isn't much, but it's all I can afford. But there are others in worse situation than I.
You're a generous fellow. I wish I might say so of your employer.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Cratchit!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas. Yes, sir.
Close the door.
Yes, sir. 24, 31, 1 carry 3, a new scarlet tippet for Tiny Tim, a comb for Martha, 33, 3 and carry 3, a hair ribbon for Belinda, 4, 7, 12, 15.
Cratchit!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's too late to have you go to Parthigill. It'll be closed up for Christmas, all these other fools. We may as well close up now.
Yes, sir. It is getting a little dark. Hard to see the figures.
I suppose you'll want the entire day tomorrow.
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair either. But I suppose I can't do anything about it. If I was to stop half a crown of your wages, you'd think yourself very ill-used, I'll be bound.
Well, sir, I...
Yeah, but you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, sir.
Once a year. Once a year, indeed. A fine excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose it's no good talking. You must have the whole day. Well, see that you're here all the earlier the next morning. You understand?
Oh, I will, sir. I will indeed. Good night, sir, and Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
The office was closed in a twinkling, and Bob Cratchit, with the long ends of his white comforter dangling below his waist, for he boasted no great coat, went down on a slide on Cornhill 20 times in honor of its being Christmas Eve, and then ran home to Camden Town as hard as he could pelt to play with his family at Blindman's Buff.
Scrooge, on the other hand, took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern. Having read all the newspapers, and spent the rest of the evening with his banker's book, went to his dismal house.
Darkness is peace, and Scrooge liked it. The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, had to grope with his hands through the fog and the frost to find the door. Scrooge walked through his rooms to see that all was right. Sitting room, bedroom, lumber room, all as they should be. Nobody under the table, nobody under the sofa, nobody under the bed, nobody in the closet. Closed the door.
He locked himself in. He double-locked himself in, and took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown and slippers and his nightcap, and sat down before the fire to take his gruel.
Marley? Marley? I could have sworn I saw. Humbug. Marley's been dead these 7 years. Humbug. Oh, humbug. What I need is a good night's sleep. What? What's that? Someone's in the wine cellar. But the door's locked and double locked. Something is coming? Something is coming closer. Outside my door. Oh, bah, I won't believe it. It's humbug still.
Ebenezer Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge!
Marley. Oh no. What do you want with me?
I want much of you, Ebenezer.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Oh. You're very particular for a ghost. Well, all right then. Who were you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley, but you're dead. You died 7 years ago.
7 years ago, this very night. What's wrong, Ebenezer? Don't you believe in me?
I do not.
You doubt your senses, Ebenezer?
Yes. Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheats. You can't be a ghost. You may be an undigested bit of beef, or a blot of mustard, or a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There may be more gravy than grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug, I tell you, humbug. I do believe in you. You are a ghost, Jacob.
Thank you.
But why? Why do you walk the earth, Jacob? Why do you come for me?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow men, and travel far and wide to witness what it cannot share, but might have shared on earth, and turned to happiness.
But tell me, Jacob, what is that chain you wear around you?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, and yard by yard, by my own free will. Is its pattern strange to you, Ebenezer?
Cash boxes, keys and padlocks, ledgers and purses.
Yours was as heavy and as long as this 7 years ago. You have labored on it since, Ebenezer.
Oh, Jacob, speak comfort to me, Jacob.
Comfort I have none to give. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger. Weary journeys lie before me.
You travel fast?
Yes, Ebenezer, on the wings of the wind.
Oh, 7 years dead and traveling all the time.
7 years, Ebenezer. 7 years of remorse. Ebenezer, do you know that no space of regret can make amends for one life's opportunities misused?
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind was my business. Charity, mercy, benevolence, they were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business.
Jacob, don't take on now such now, Jacob.
Listen to me, Ebenezer.
I'll listen to you, Jacob. Go on, Jacob, now. Speak to me, but don't be so flowery.
Ebenezer, I am here to warn you that you have yet a chance of hope of escaping my fate. Do you hear that, Ebenezer?
Yes, Jacob. Yes, you always were a good friend to me, Jacob. Thanks, Jacob, but go on. How shall I escape? Oh, I'm afraid, Jacob.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the only chance and hope, Jacob?
It is your only chance and hope.
Well, then, I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path that I tread. Expect the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Ebenezer, look that, for your own sake, you remember what has passed between us. Remember, when the bell tolls 1, look for the first spirit.
Marley! Jacob Marley!
Scrooge awoke. He was lying on his bed, fully dressed. Suddenly, the curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor who drew them. As close to it as I am now to you, and I am standing in the spirit at your elbow.
It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so like a child as like an old man. Its hair, which hung about its neck and down its back, was white as if with age, and yet the face had not a wrinkle to it, and the tenderest bloom was on the skin. The arms were long and muscular, the hands the same, as if its hold were of uncommon strength.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Who is that?
Ebenezer Scrooge. I have come for you.
You? Are you a spirit? The one whose coming was foretold to me?
I am that spirit.
What are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
But what do you want of me? What brings you here to haunt me?
Your welfare, Ebenezer Scrooge. Rise and walk with me.
Oh, no, not out the window. I can't do that. I'll fall down. I'm not a spirit. I'm mortal, and I'll fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this. Come, follow me.
Where are we? What's become of the city? And there's snow on the ground. Where are we?
These are the shadows of things that have been. You recognize this countryside?
Oh, I know every inch of it. Every rock, every tree.
And that bleak building over there?
Oh, that building. I was a boy there. Yes. Oh, I went to school in that horrible place.
Do you recollect that path?
I could walk it blindfold.
Strange you should have forgotten it so many years. Come, let's go closer. Look out the window. Look through the window into that cold, barren room. What do you see, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I see a boy.
A solitary child, neglected by his family. Alone.
Yes. Yes, I see. I know that boy. Oh, I was so lonely. Poor boy.
Your lip is trembling, Scrooge. And what's that on your cheek?
It's nothing. Nothing at all. I wish I... Oh, it's too late now.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Nothing. The waifs came to my door singing Christmas carols last night, and there was a boy like that among them. A poor, pale, thin little boy in a ragged coat. I should like to give him something, that's all.
Is that all? Come, Ebenezer Scrooge. Let us see another Christmas. Do you know this place, Ebenezer Scrooge?
No, it. Oh, this is the counting house where I was apprenticed. It's my old master. Oh, bless his heart, old Fezziwig. My master alive again and hosting one of his Christmas parties.
Pick your partners!
Listen to him.
Thread the needle, corkscrew, and back to your places!
And there's Dick Wilkins. Oh, poor Dick. Dear, dear, dear. Yes, and look, there's Mrs. Fezziwig herself, looking younger than any of them. Oh, and the tables all loaded with roasts and cider, mince pie and beer. Oh, what a jolly time we used to have.
That carefree young man with the light heart and the gay smile. Do you recognize him?
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, merciful heavens, how happy I was then.
A small matter for old Fezziwig to make those silly folks so full of joy.
Oh, small matter. Small indeed.
Isn't it? He has spent only a few pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that he deserves praise?
It's not that. It's not that, Spirit. Old Fezziwig has the power to make us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or heavy. His power lies in words and looks, and in things so tiny that it's impossible to count them up. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it costs a... Oh,
What's the matter?
oh, nothing. Nothing at all, Spirit.
Something, I think.
No, no.
Speak.
Well, only it's just that I'd like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk, Bob Cratchit. That's all.
My time grows short, and we have yet another journey to make.
Where now?
Come. This is our last visit to the past, Ebenezer. Here in this little room with a fair young girl by your side. Do you recognize yourself, Ebenezer?
Oh, no. No. No, 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 no. Spare me this.
You're older now. A man in the prime of his life. Your face has begun to wear out the signs of care and adverse. Your eyes are greedy. The eager, relentless eyes of a miser.
No, no, please.
She knows it too, the girl by your side. There are tears in her eyes.
It matters little to you. Very little. I know that.
Belle, have I changed toward you?
When we were engaged, we were both poor.
Was it better then? Better to be poor?
Better at least to be happy. You're changed. You were another man then.
I was a boy. You blame me because I've grown wiser. Have I ever tried to break our engagement?
In words, no, never.
In what then?
In a changed nature, in an altered spirit, in everything that made my love of any value in your sight. So I release you from your promise.
Belle.
Oh, at first it may cause you some pain to lose me, a very brief pain, but soon it will be dim, like a half-remembered dream, an unprofitable dream, and you will be glad to be awake from such a dream. May you be happy in the life you chosen, Ebenezer, for the love of the whom you once loved.
That's enough. Show me no more. Take me home.
These were the shadows of things that have been. That they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Spirit, Spirit, I can't bear any more. Leave me. Haunt me no more. Take me back. Take me back.
On the stroke of 1, Scrooge awakened suddenly and sat bolt upright in his own bed. He remembered the words of Marley's ghost and wondered from which direction the second spectre would appear. At that moment, nothing between a baby and a rhinoceros would have astonished him very much.
Now, being prepared for almost anything, he was not by any means prepared for nothing. And consequently, when no shape appeared, he was taken with a violent fit of trembling. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour went by, yet nothing came. Then, as he sat in his bed, he became aware gradually of a great blaze of ruddy light, which seemed to shine upon him from the adjoining room. He got up softly and shuffled in his slippers to the door.
It was his own sitting room, no doubt about it. But it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove, from every part of which bright gleaming berries glistened, and such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney as had never been known in Scrooge's time, or for many and many a winter season gone. Heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys, geese, game, poultry, great joints of meat, sucking pigs, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam.
In easy state upon this couch there sat a jolly giant glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch, in shape not unlike Plenty's horn, and held it up high, high up to shed its light on Scrooge, as he came peeping round the door.
Come in! Come in, Ebenezer Scrooge, and know me better, man.
Who?
I'm the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You've never seen the likes of me before.
You're different from the other, Spirit.
My torch pours light into the homes of rich and poor alike.
Spirit, take me where you will. Last time I went against my will and learned a lesson which is working now. If you have anything to teach me, let me profit by it.
Touch my robe, Ebenezer Scrooge. Touch my robe.
Where have you brought me, Spirit?
A humble dwelling on a humble street.
It's humble enough.
Yet There is happiness there.
Who are these people? Who's that woman and the children?
These are the family of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. His wife, dressed in a twice-turned gown, but brave in ribbons, laying the table for their Christmas dinner. And there, assisting her, is her daughter, Belinda. And the young man with the fork in the stuffing, that's Master Peter Cratchit. And the two little Cratchits. Listen, Scrooge, and coming in the door now is his oldest daughter, Martha.
Why, bless your heart alive, Martha, my dear. Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas, Mother.
How late you are, my dear.
Oh, we'd a deal of work to finish up last night, and we had to clear away this morning.
Well, never mind, so long as you're here now. Sit ye down before the fire and have a warm. Lord bless ye.
Where is Father?
He's been to church with Tiny Tim. They'll be along directly.
How is Tiny Tim, Mother? Any better at all?
Sometimes I think he is. And sometimes I think, oh dear God, if anything should happen to Tiny Tim.
Mother, you mustn't even think such a thing.
Oh, there's Tiny Tim.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Martha, welcome, my dear.
Merry Christmas, Father. And Tim.
Merry Christmas, Martha.
Oh, Tim, you darling. Oh, Father, I'm so glad to be home.
And we're so glad to have you, Martha.
And how did little Tim behave in church, Bob?
Oh, as good as gold and better.
I like church, Mother. Oh, they sang the nicest songs. I hope the people saw me there.
Saw you there? And why, Tim?
Well, don't you see? Because I'm lame. And if they saw my crutch, it might be pleasant for them to remember on Christmas who it was made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Oh, bless you, my son.
Are we ready to eat, Mother? Come on, let's eat.
Yes, children, we're all ready. Come take your places now. And Bob, wait your turn. There's plenty. Stuffing and dressing and plum pudding for all of you. Martha, you take care of Tiny Tim.
Yes, Mother.
You see that he eats plenty. He must get tall and well. Now sit down, everyone.
Now, my dears. Shall we say grace? Dear Lord.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim live.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved.
Oh, no, kind spirit. Say he'll be spared. Say he'll live.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, Ebenezer, the child, will die.
Amen.
Amen.
And now, my dears, with such a dinner, a toast, a Merry Christmas to us all, and God bless us.
Amen.
God bless us, everyone.
And now, to Mr. Scrooge, I give you a toast to Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed, who pays you all of 15 shillings a week. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast on, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
Oh, my dear, the children, Christmas Day.
Well, it should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks the health of an odious, stingy, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Bob. Nobody knows it better than you, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake and for the day's, not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and very happy, I've no doubt.
And I say God bless him too, Mother, and everyone. There's nothing of high mark in all this. They were not a handsome family, these Cratchits. They were not well dressed. Their shoes were far from waterproof. Their clothes were scanty, and had known very likely the inside of a pawnbroker's.
But they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. When at last they faded, Scrooge had his eye upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim, until the last.
Many calls Scrooge made that night with the ghost of Christmas present. Down among the miners they went, who labor in the bowels of the earth, and out to sea among the sailors at their watch, dark ghostly figures in their several stations.
Much they saw and far they went, and many places they visited, but always with a happy end. The spirits stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful. On foreign lands, and they were close at home. By poverty, and it was rich. In almshouse, hospital, and jail, where vain man in his little brief authority had not made fast the door and barred the spirit out, the spirit left his blessing. It was a long night, if it was only a night. And it was strange, too, that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the ghost grew older, clearly older.
My life upon this globe is very brief, Ebenezer. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark, the hour has come.
Oh, no, not yet. Not yet. There are still more things I wish to learn.
These you will learn from still another spirit. Still another spirit, Ebenezer.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost. It had vanished, and he found himself once more in his bed, in his dressing gown and his nightcap on his head. He heard the clock strike, and then he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up his eyes, beheld the third spirit.
Solemn, phantom, shrouded in black, draped and hooded, coming towards him slowly and silently, like a mist along the ground.
I know you. You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You'll show me the shadow of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Answer me, spirit, ghost of the future. I fear you more than any specter I've seen. Yet, I know your purpose is to do me good. And as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, lead on. Lead on. The night's waning fast and time is precious. Spirit, why have you brought me here again? Here to Bob Cratchit's home. But it's not the same. What? Why is it so quiet? So very quiet here.
Mother, please.
Oh, my son, my little son, Tiny Tim. I loved him so.
Oh, Mother dear, you mustn't. It's almost time for Father to be home. Don't let him see you crying.
Yes. Yes, Martha.
It's late tonight.
He walks slower than he used to. And yet, I've known him to walk very fast indeed with Tiny Tim on his shoulder.
So have I, Mother.
But he was light to carry. And his father loved him so that it was no trouble. No trouble. Bob!
Good evening, my dear.
You're late, Bob.
Yes, I'm sorry, my dear. I went to the churchyard today. You could have gone with me. It would have done your heart good to see how sweet and green a place it is. But you'll see it often. I promised him. Yes, I promised Tiny Tim we'd walk there on a Sunday.
Father dear.
It's God's will, Bob.
I'm trying to understand it, my dear. My son, my little son, Tiny Tim, and I loved him so.
Oh, that's cruel, cruel Spirit. Can't you give me one ray of hope that I may change all that Tiny Tim may live? Where are you taking me now? Here on a common street, Spirit? What is there for me to learn here? Who are those people?
I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
It's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know anybody to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer?
I don't mind going if there's a lunch provided.
Come to think of it, I'll bet I was his best friend.
What?
Oh, we used to nod at each other when we met in the street.
Spirit, help me. Who is this man that died? Is there no one to mourn the poor creature? No one to follow him to the grave? Perhaps they'll give him a green grave at least, like poor Tiny Tim. Perhaps. Spirit, where are we now? Oh, merciful heaven, a churchyard, overrun by grass and weeds, choking with too much burying, desolate, lonely, crumbling gravestones. Spirit, before I draw nearer to that gravestone, answer me one question. Are these shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only? Huh? Well, will you not speak to me, Spirit? What is that grave to which you point? Oh, now I see it. Uh-huh. There's writing on that stone. The name on that gravestone is Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh, no, Spirit. No, hear me. I'm not the man I was. Why should I am past all hope? Tell me that I can change these dreadful shadows, and you show me by an altered life. I'll honor Christmas in my heart. I'll try to keep it all the year. I'll live in the past, the present, and the future, and I'll not shut out the lessons that they teach. Tell me, Spirit. Oh, go on. Tell me that I can sponge away the writing on that stone, Spirit. I beg you, Spirit. I beg you. Spirit, I promise on my knees. I promise. Oh, what's this? It's my own drape. Oh, I'm home. In my own bed, in my own room. Oh, and the sun's shining. It's clear, it's bright. No fog. What a beautiful day. Oh, glorious. Hey, hello.
Yes, sir?
What's today?
What's that, sir?
What day is it?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
Oh, it's Christmas Day, and I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. All in one night. Heaven be praised.
How's that, sir?
Oh, listen, my dear child. You know where the poulterer is in the next street?
I should say I do.
Oh, intelligent, remarkable. Tell me, Do you know if they sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
The one as big as me?
Oh, yes. Oh, what a delightful child. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Yes, that's the one.
It's hanging there now, sir.
That's wonderful. Go down, will you? Tell him to send it to Bob Cratchit and his family on Broad Street. And mind you, they're not to know who paid for it. Go along. Hurry, hurry. Here. Wait a minute. Here's half a crown for your trouble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And a Merry Christmas, sir.
Oh, and a Merry Christmas to you, my boy. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather and as happy as an angel, as merry as a schoolboy. Oh, Merry Christmas to everybody. Oh, and a Happy New Year to all the world. Oh, hello! Oh, my dear woman, how do you do?
I beg your pardon?
Well, you, madam, aren't you the gentlewoman who came to my office in regard to that charity?
Why, yes, sir.
A Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, sir.
Allow me to ask your pardon, madam, and will you have the goodness to accept? I prefer to whisper this.
What? But Lord bless me, my dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, and now not a farthing less. Oh, a great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor?
Well, my dear sir, I don't know what to say to such munificence.
Now, don't say anything, please. Come and see me, will you? Will you come and see me?
I will indeed.
Oh, thank ye. I am much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Next morning, Scrooge was early at his office. He went early for a reason. If he could only be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late, that was the thing he'd set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past. No Bob. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him come in. At last he came. His hat was off before he opened the door. His comforter, too. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen, as if he were trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
15 and 21, 6 and carry the 1, 24 and carry the 2, 31 and 8 and 9.
Hello, you Cratchit.
Yes, sir.
Step this way, Cratchit, if you please. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in this time of day?
Why, I'm very sorry, sir. I'm behind in my time.
You are? Yes, I think you are.
Oh, it's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
I'll tell you what, my friend. I'll not stand this sort of thing any longer, and therefore, Bob Cratchit, I'm about to raise your salary.
Mr. Scrooge, are you quite yourself, sir?
No, thank heaven, I'm not quite myself. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, my good fellow. I shall raise your salary, merrier Christmas than I've given you in many a year. I shall raise your salary, and we'll see what we can do for Tiny Tim and the rest of your family, huh? We'll discuss it this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. Bob, make up the fire. Make it up and buy another coal scuttle. before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a master, as good a man, as good as the good old city knew, or any good city, borough, or town in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he let them laugh and little heeded them. His own heart laughed. That was quite enough for him.
He had no further intercourse with spirits, but lived upon the total abstinence principle ever afterwards. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge.
May that be truly said of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, every one.
Who wrote that?
No, that was the original.
Just under an hour.
All right.
Very good.
I know that. Who wrote it?
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for attending. Got through a couple of technical bumps there, but generally speaking, I want to thank everybody for being here. It has been an absolute pleasure to present this. I would like to introduce the cast as soon as I get them up on my I'm so sorry. I have to get it off on my notes here. Okay. As Bob Cratchit, we had Bob Colton playing Ebenezer Scrooge. Kevin Denny. Kathy Diamond portrayed Mrs. Cratchit, and then 2 seconds later portrayed the very funny second person on the street in the future. Peggy Gannon was the first narrator. Jennifer Mahoney playing the part of Belle. The first person in the future who is speaking with Kathy Diamond as the ghost of Christmas Present, the wonderful and talented Suzanne Noonan. Amy Pineski doing triple time, basically, playing the second narrator, playing the child at the beginning and at the end, and playing the world famous Tiny Tim. Jeff Madden playing the part of Fezziwig and Marley's ghost. Isabeau Pogue playing the ghost of Christmas Past, and Bob Cratchit's daughter Martha. And Josephine playing the charitable gentlewoman at the beginning and at the end. And we do want to thank Dawn Peloso for basically running 23 miles south and for giving us this forum upon which to perform. And we want to thank you very much, and we hope that you will join us, well, next year when we do this again with fewer technical hiccups. And also, we will be doing a program of Shakespearean monologues, sonnets, and dialogues in early February. Pay attention to the 23 Miles South website, and we will give you full information about that. All right, so we want to thank you for coming, and that is all I have to say at this point.
Yay, good
Thank
job.
you for coming, people.